Greetings YouTube and nerfreddit. My name is Alexander, and today I wanted to show, a little bit late, my entry into the Merge Masters 2 contest on nerfreddit. This is the Asmodeus. It was my entry into the Myriad class, which ended up in second place. As you can probably see, it's the base of it is the Nerf Hyperfire, the Elite Hyperfire, and I've done some pretty heavy shell work to it. I've extended and given it a real barrel and not just the little knob that stuck out. And for that I used the front part of a long strike. I've cut out the grid that was on both sides as it was cracked. I've extended the tactical rail from the Hyperfire with the modulus base blaster's carry handle, and I've hand filed notches into the Hyperfire's rail so it would match together. I then put the Demolisher missile launcher underneath, and I've used some pieces from the Proton, the Nerf Vortex Proton, as housing for a voltmeter and gap filling, and also the pump grip from a long shot front gun. And yeah, as the cosmetics goes, I've filled the cheek rest with epoxy resin to get a solid sturdy piece and add a little weight. And I would actually recommend that because I felt it was a little bit unsteady, at least on my version. So filling it would, it feels like a solid piece and not just hollow plastic, because it now is a solid piece. The paint job is gunmetal that I have dry brushed with silver Tamiya model paints, and metallic pink that I have ground up with acrylic paints, and the detail paints, silver, gold. Yeah, the silver and the gold is also Tamiya model paints. And on the side, this side, I have the seal of Asmodeus, and on the other side I have the Devil's Trap sigil from Supernatural. The concept was, behind it was a little bit of a BFG, and the thought of what if someone had sealed a demon inside a rifle. And I've hand stenciled the Asmodeus name on the missile launcher, only on one side though. And the pump grip I've covered with a piece of leather. Actually two pieces, as it's still am still able to open it for maintenance and tweaking and stuff. And on the back part I've put a piece of a EVA floor mat as sort of a padding, and I've put 8 or 9 pink LEDs, 2 on each side in some metal LED holders, and the rest inside the barrel. As an inner barrel I chose Monkey Mod's silver aluminum barrel. I am really happy with it. I am definitely going to buy more of those barrels, and the good thing is they come in a lot of colors, so you can mix and match however you want. On the jam door I've cut off that little fin part that stuck up. I didn't think it was necessary, and I didn't like how it jutted out from behind a complete flat rail. So I just took a Dremel and I cut it off and sanded it down. That is the only mod I have done to the jam door, as the feeding belt is housed inside it, and I didn't want to risk to gunking it up and making the blaster useless. I have artifact metal Hyperfire trigger. I was planning to cut out and make my own metal magazine release and rail trigger, but it didn't really work out, and I lost a couple of tools trying to mill them, and it didn't really work out in time. Inside, driving it all is 7.2 nickel metal hydrate RC battery, and that is driving 2 Michel 2.0 motors inside a worker metal Hyperfire cage, and the flywheels are artifact version 2 wheels. I'm really happy with this setup. The flywheel cage, I haven't even now seen anyone talking that much about it, but except Angular when it was released. But I'm actually really happy with it. I feel I haven't really experienced any whirling darts with this setup, and it's really sturdy and I like it. I actually prefer the metal flywheel cages and a lot of blasters because I think it sounds better as the motors are screwed down and not rattling around as much. And one drawback that I haven't seen a worker mention is on the left side of the blaster you have to cut out some plastic to make the blaster go together again when you have installed the flywheel cage, because it's not a 1:1 copy of Nerf's stock cage. So I had to shave down a corner of the plastic and test it, and shave down a little more and test it until I really could get the blaster together again. As a pusher motor, I have also Michel 2-point motors, and I'm definitely going to buy more of foam blast motor, and more. Oh yeah, the LEDs is driven by a 9-volt battery in the stock, and as far as modifications on the missile launcher, I've only relubed it. I've padded the plunger head a bit to fill in the dead space on it, and I've cut out the grid in the barrel of the launcher, and it shoots about as far as a stock demolition launcher does. I don't own a chronograph, so I'm not able to give you any FPS numbers, but it's definitely better than the stock Hyperfire, even though it has a barrel a little bit longer, but maybe the barrel is one of the reasons I don't get whirlybirds. And one big drawback I've come across that I haven't been able to fix on at least my Hyperfire is I can't use either Workers 10 Dark Banana Mag, no, Nerf's 10 Dark Banana Mag, and Workers 15 Dark Banana Mag. The half orange, half transparent, because even if I have new fresh darts out of the pack, the driver belt chews up the darts, and in all stick bags and the drum that a Hyperfire came with, I haven't come across the same issue, but if maybe it's just mine, or maybe it's a common thing for the Hyperfire, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of people really mod the Hyperfire as much as just the deleter and the so-called storm bolter, and I know the Rapid Strike has better control with a feeding mechanism and a better dart compatibility, but I couldn't get hold of a Rapid Strike at the time, and I really liked the kind of more hyper sci-fi look of the Hyperfire, so the Hyperfire it was. I chose. Well, at least I like it. It's a completed dart hose, as my wife is afraid of. Every time I'm revving up this blaster, she looks suspiciously at me as if she's terrified of getting shot with it. But I'm actually really satisfied with it, and yeah, let's test fire a couple of first two demolition rockets. I almost shut down one of my wife's porcelain elves, and it might be best to aim this at something else. I really like this part of having something underslung that's a second ammo type. If I'm using this in a war where the rocket does something else than regular darts, and I like the overall look. The voltmeter in the proton button is triggered when a magazine is put in, and it's 7.2 battery that is registered at 7.62. And I primarily use the 12 dart magazines I've got from Lightake. I really like those mags. They're cheap. I feel quite sturdy enough, and I haven't been able to find any flaws with them yet, but some people prefer the 18s and I prefer 12. And now I'm getting bombarded by darts. Now it's your turn. And even in as I said, the Hyperfire is a really good dart hose, but if you want to shoot just one dart and have control, maybe a strife is a better choice. As dart compatibility goes, I've used normal standard elites, I've used X-shot darts, I've used FEJs, and I've also used regular AccuStrike darts, not AccuFakes. I am thinking about buying a lot of AccuFakes from Lightake, as I had a lot of goodwill of them, and I kind of like them. So 6-dart AccuFake magazine, and I've also come across that Asmodeus has a tendency to decapitate a lot of FEJs. So the head goes flying as hell, and it spits out the foam rod. So yeah, I don't know if it's my setup in Asmodeus, or if it's just bad gluing on a couple of darts, but yeah. And of course it is compatible still with its 25-dart drum. Five darts in a couple of seconds. Here's another decapitated FEJ, and this one I can see it's not Asmodeus' fault, as it has only one tiny little drop of glue on the stem. What more? I'm happy with how this mod turned out. It was kind of a labor of love. I worked on it almost the complete run up to the contest from just the same week that Landgrave started the competition, and I finished it the week before deadline. Not a whole week, but I think 5 days before deadline. And apparently people like my work. And I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Nathan, who talked about Asmodeus in his aesthetics part 2 video. The 2 videos he produced of the Merge Master entries he found was a good discussion object, or as you apparently can guess, English is not my native language, and I'm a little bit out of shape on speaking English. I'm more used to writing English, and yeah, I'm going to work on that, and I hope you are going to watch more of my work in the future. I got a package on the way, a couple of packages on the way that's going to end up in a couple of videos. And well, this is going to be the first video on the channel me and my wife is going to drive. Usually we have made content only on Swedish and on another of our channels, but as more and more as more interest came up on Asmodeus, we thought about it a little bit better to not exclude English from our videos, because it could be we're reaching out to more people that way. And yeah, if anyone is interested in maybe seeing a range test with Asmodeus, comment. If someone wants to see the insides and the mechanism, I might be willing to do that. It's kind of a mess inside, and yeah, I'll have to think about it, but that's all I can think about of Asmodeus, and maybe later this week I'm gonna make another video when some of my packages arrive, and I also have some modding of blasters in the future I'm going to film and put up. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Hej då!